And as per usual, honey, I welcome you to our next port of call, Pape, Tahiti. And this one actually looks like a port. We've got a bustling city behind us of sorts. I mean, it's not Los Angeles or Chicago or anything like that, but you can hear things going on. The city is awake already, which is a good thing because my excursion is early this morning. Well, do you call 9 o'clock early? You used to have trouble getting out of bed that early sometimes, so I think you might as well. Going sailing today, at least in the morning, and then I'll have the afternoon to wander about. So, we'll see how things go, and you get to see along with me. One thing about a sailing excursion, or really any excursion that requires water, is that I have to keep these things dry. I got these bags when I was back home, and I have to admit I don't know if they're going to work. I didn't get a chance to test them, but I'm going to find out if they work. Probably with the old camera first, because if that breaks, I don't lose a phone. But at least let's try it. And then we've got this thing wrapped up as well. Hopefully this is watertight. If not, I'm in trouble. But if something happens to this particular phone, well, I've just lost a camera and I still have this one. I'd prefer to have them both going at the same time, but you know, accidents happen. Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's hard sometimes.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome on board. Watch your step, sir.
Yep. Let's see, where to find a spot. Ran a little late today. Anyway, I had to rush back and grab a couple of towels, so I wound up being a little late, honey, and so I don't even get a seat. I'm just on the back here. So hopefully this won't pose too much of a problem. We're getting ready to cast off. And yes, we can actually get on these nets, but we probably need to be balanced because there's two of them. Otherwise, the catamaran might just tip over, I'm told. Actually, this is a pretty nice seat to have when we're heading out. From here, it's basically I'm in the prow of the ship, apart from the nets in front of us. So you get to see pretty much everything as we're leaving. For the time being, I'm content to sit in the shade and watch things go by. And am I not mistaken, or is that Moria right off in the distance? Given its mountains and its proximity, I guess I shouldn't be so surprised that Moria is visible from here. After all, it's only an 11-mile ferry trip from there to here. And with those mountains like they are, it's obviously not that hard to spot it. But when you see it, it's just kind of like, oh wait, is that? Yes, it is. We haven't gone that far. And yet, we spent several hours on the ship because we didn't take the ferry route, but rather went some distance north to get outside of the 12-mile limit, probably to fire up the casinos, and then came back in order to pull into port this morning. We're about to head out past the jetties into somewhat open ocean. There is some surf over here, and I presume we're going to be heading towards that. That'll be the west side of Tahiti. They say we should be seeing dolphins out here. So far I can't tell the dolphins apart from the whitecaps. Meanwhile, I'm just realizing how tall this ship is. I think of a
We
catamaran
put the
as
main
being-
sail, so we will be in the front of the wind for...
They're gonna open up the sails since we're front of the wind. And we're pulling up the sail again. And it is in the breeze, all right. We're gonna be turning a little bit towards the island at this rate. Not a big deal because we're out in the ocean now. There's a nice strong break there just for a moment, and then when I get the camera up, it gets more calm. Just my luck. Traveling by catamaran isn't very fast, but it is certainly picturesque. Now we're hitting some breakers of our own. They aren't actually breaking as such, but they're going up and down. So I guess these are swells more than they are breakers. And you can see them just rising up. And you can see us rising up. We seem to be coming into the beach, and wouldn't you know it, it seems to be quite cloudy and just a bit drizzly at the moment. Now, to be fair, we're heading east, and if clouds move east as a general rule, these things will pass us by shortly. We can only hope. I'm sure I want to swim in this. The marina we're sailing through is full of ships of all sorts of sizes and descriptions. Jack would probably feel at home here, but it's really something to me. Guy in the outrigger who's trying to catch up with us, or maybe he's just going to try and appreciate our wake. Easier to paddle in it. Turns out we're dealing with another sort of flotilla of these guys. Not by anybody else. Like we weighed anchor. Well, if I sound nasally in most of my recordings, it's got to be a lot worse this time. I'm actually going to try and get in here. I'm not sure about trusting the camera though, which is a shame because I can barely see what's going on at this point myself. Well, it was worth a try, hon. I keep forgetting I'm blind, so getting under here with a mask is kind of pointless, and I don't trust these things quite yet with the camera. You might be able to see more than I can, and then I wouldn't know quite where to point the camera at. I missed enough things as it is. And yeah, and putting on a snorkel didn't do me any good. It did clear out my sinuses though, so there's that. But it still didn't help me see things any better, and I wound up sucking in a lot of noodle soup. Well, no noodles, just salty soup. But as long as I'm here, I might as well send you off one more time. All right, hon. Welcome to the waters of Tahiti. Enjoy. Well, hon, I won't call this a washout. I mean, this is a vacation. You come here to relax, and I think I did some of that, so there's something to it. It was lovely in the water. It's not the Dead Sea, but the salt certainly balances you out a little bit. You don't need to struggle to stay afloat or anything like that, that's for sure. I did feel like I pulled the back of my ankle when I tried to climb up the ladder in the back. But by and large, I had a good time in the water. You would have had a great time. And again, I'm sorry you missed it, but at least a little bit of you is in here. We'll be here till whenever we all get called. So, I hope you enjoy it. I think I did. And our next trip is going to be into the downtown. See what Pape is like. Until then, keep an eye on me. Wish me luck, honey. I'm going to need it.